In the dark and fog-shrouded streets of Victorian London, an elusive and malevolent figure emerged from the shadows, striking fear into the hearts of the city's residents. His gruesome acts of violence sent shockwaves through society, creating a legend that would endure for centuries. Tonight, we delve into the chilling tale of one of history's most notorious and enigmatic figures, Jack the Ripper. The Whitechapel murders, as they came to be known, unfolded in the autumn of 1888, a time when the city grappled with poverty, social unrest, and the stark divide between the privileged and the destitute. As the East End became a breeding ground for crime and desperation, a series of brutal and unsolved murders shocked the world and left an indelible mark on the pages of criminal history. Join us as we embark on a journey to unravel the mysteries surrounding Jack the Ripper, an elusive phantom who prowled the narrow alleyways and dimly lit corners of Whitechapel. In this exploration, we will sift through the historical evidence, examine the investigations that ensued, and attempt to shed light on the identity of this shadowy figure who has fascinated and terrified generations. Prepare yourself for a gripping exploration into the heart of darkness as we seek to uncover the truth behind the legend of Jack the Ripper. The true identity of Jack the Ripper remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in criminal history. The infamous serial killer terrorized the Whitechapel district of London in 1888, committing a series of brutal murders. The victims, often prostitutes, were subjected to gruesome mutilations, leading to a climate of fear and panic in the city. Despite a high-profile investigation led by the Metropolitan Police and widespread public interest, Jack the Ripper was never apprehended, and his identity remains unknown. The killer left behind a series of taunting letters and messages, adding to the mystique surrounding the case. The lack of conclusive evidence and the passage of time have only fueled numerous theories and speculations about the true identity of Jack the Ripper. Various suspects have been proposed over the years, ranging from local individuals to members of the royal family, but none have been definitively proven. The case continues to captivate the public's imagination, and the legend of Jack the Ripper endures as a symbol of the dark and mysterious side of Victorian London. Jack the Ripper earned his infamous moniker from a letter supposedly sent to the Central News Agency in London in September 1888. The letter, signed Jack the Ripper, claimed responsibility for the brutal murders in the Whitechapel district and included gruesome details about the crimes. It is important to note that the authenticity of the letter has been questioned, and some believe it may have been a hoax or sensationalized by the media of that time. Regardless of the letter's authenticity, the name Jack the Ripper stuck and became the widely accepted term for the unidentified serial killer. The term Ripper itself is thought to derive from the verb to rip, reflecting the violent and brutal nature of the murders. The use of this pseudonym added an element of terror and mystery to the case, contributing to the enduring legacy and fascination with the unsolved crimes. The modus operandi of Jack the Ripper typically involved the following: throat slashing. The victims' throats were slashed with a deep, jagged wound, severing the arteries and windpipes. This was often the immediate cause of death. Abdominal mutilation. In some cases, the killer escalated the brutality by performing abdominal mutilations. The bodies of the victims were often disemboweled, and organs, such as the uterus, were sometimes removed. Facial and body mutilations. The faces and bodies of the victims were frequently mutilated, with additional cuts and injuries. The level of brutality and precision exhibited in the mutilations suggested a certain level of surgical knowledge, leading to speculation about the killer's background. It's important to note that while these patterns are associated with the canonical Ripper murders, not all of the Whitechapel murders during that time were conclusively linked to the same perpetrator. The motivations behind the killings attributed to Jack the Ripper remain unknown, as the identity of the perpetrator has never been definitively established. Several theories and speculations have been put forth by historians, criminologists, and amateur sleuths, but none have been proven. Some of the proposed theories are psychological issues, sexual motivation, social unrest, and poverty, serial killer fantasy, or mental illness. It's important to note that these theories are largely speculative, and without the identification of Jack the Ripper, the true motivations behind the killings remain a mystery. The case has been the subject of extensive study and debate, but conclusive evidence has yet to emerge. The identity of Jack the Ripper remains an unsolved mystery. Sarah Bax Horton, a relative of an officer on the original case, used medical records to, in an upcoming book, allege that the killer was a London cigar maker. Horton believes other facts contribute to the idea that Hyam Hyams was in fact Jack the Ripper. As we conclude our journey into the enigma of Jack the Ripper, we find ourselves standing on the threshold of history, haunted by the unsolved mysteries that linger in the cobblestone alleys of Whitechapel. The true identity of this elusive figure remains forever obscured, veiled in the shadows of time. The legacy of Jack the Ripper endures as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the heart of even the most bustling metropolis. The unanswered questions, the gruesome details, and the enduring fascination with this Victorian phantom continue to captivate the minds of those who seek to understand the inexplicable. The tale of Jack the Ripper is more than a historical mystery. It is a reflection of a bygone era, a city in upheaval, and the haunting silence of a killer who slipped through the fingers of justice. As we step back into the present, the legend of Jack the Ripper remains an indelible mark on the annals of true crime, a story that refuses to be forgotten.